Hello, race fans, and welcome to Disc Golf Daily. It is Tuesday, May 7th. Follow us on X, Instagram, and Facebook to stay in the Disc Golf Daily loop. We are the podcast that gets you caught up with disc golf news and growth in about 10 minutes. Tuesday is Course Growth Day, but first, the news. DDO Stats Catch-Up. Congrats to Chris Clemens for sticking the ace on hole 16 and making ESPN's top 10. Yet another notch in our feather. No? Well, whatever. In the post-round interview, it was nice to see the calm on Calvin's face as he talked about how good it felt to finally win one after being so close for over a year and not getting the win. Actually, I guess Calvin's face is always calm, though, so who knows. Either way, I hope he savors it and gets right back to winning more and more. You're our number one, Calvin, and we'll prove it on Thursday. The Emporia Gazette put out a great piece about the event, and nowhere in it did it explain what disc golf is. They just said these players were in contention, it was a great battle. Thank you, Emporia Gazette. This feels significant to me. I like that newspapers don't have to talk about what disc golf is. And to close it out, DDD by the numbers, thanks to Bangarang Discs on Reddit for the following. Payout and player count were both down by 10%. 150 players and a $75,000 payout. We should put a pin in this and see if it is the start of a trend or an outlier. So far, it is the first event of the season to have a lower payout. Our number 2 news story of the day, the Copenhagen Open. Or maybe the Copenhagen Open. Next stop, DGPT Europe's first event as an official part of the DGPT. I'm going to read from the press release and then give a little context. Expansion and support. DGPT Europe is committed to broadening professional disc golf's footprint in Europe with the DGPT and PDGA Europe. This includes strategic advisement from Prodigy Europe, who was a key stakeholder in the European Pro Tour's early days. Collaboration with PDGA Europe. This is PDGA Europe. The PDGA Euro Tour, previously managed by PDGA Europe, has paused its independent series to bolster DGPT Europe. Number 3, media integration. A major component of this merger is the integration of the Euro Pro Tour's disc golf stream with DGPT's disc golf network. All previous disc golf stream subscribers will get free access through the Copenhagen Open, and after that, they'll be able to choose whether or not they get a new paid subscription. So my context on this, Europe was basically the Wild West of pro disc golf, with Prodigy and the PDGA both vying for supremacy in the tour and media markets in the fast-growing European disc golf market. They both decided to basically partner with the Pro Tour to create DGPT Europe. This unified approach should let the top events rise to the top and give the European players a better proving ground and more access to American eyeballs. To me, this is one of the most amazing things that happened in disc golf last year, and it will likely take a few more years for everyone in disc golf to see how truly groundbreaking this collaboration is. Well done by everyone to row in the same boat in the same direction. Our number 3 story, disc golf launchers. I am not the first person to think this would be cool, but it's starting to look like we need to make it happen. It would be great to have a disc launcher tournament. It will be slow, but it would be so freaking cool. And yes, the reason I'm saying there is another disc launcher on the YouTubes that is worth checking out. Link in the show notes. He calls it a golf disc bazooka. Go watch. See if it can beat the one from last week. Our number 4 news story, a beginner's guide to flight numbers. This is a very well put together article. What do speed, glide, turn, and fade numbers mean, and how do they work? Yes, I know everyone listening gets this. However, if you want to bookmark a great resource for that one friend that wants to putt with their driver to make sure they reach the basket, the link is in the show notes. It's a great article with good examples and easy to understand language. A beginner's guide to flight numbers. Our next news story, the Women's Global is in less than 2 weeks. Do you want to grow women's disc golf? Bring a friend to the Women's Global. I've not done the calculations as to how many women have played the Women's Global, but it feels like it's over 100,000. And for many of these women, it was their first ever organized event. It's happening in less than 2 weeks. If you've not signed up yet, check your local weather, find a local event, call a friend that is disc golf curious, and reserve spots for both of you today. This is a great way to bring a friend and introduce them to women's disc golf. Our next news story of the day, yes, we are running through them. We've got a lot to do. PDGA approved discs. Independent Discs Sweden AB has put out variants on their previously approved discs called the Soul and the Sense. They appear to be a fairway and a putter, respectively. Clash Discs has their tone variant of the Lotus, PDGA approved. And Proto Flight has gotten their fourth disc, PDGA approved. It is a 2.4 centimeter winged driver called the CNCI. It sounds like a car that Mercedes-Benz or somebody would make. And Lightspeed Disc Golf has had their first disc ever PDGA approved. Congratulations, Lightspeed. You now have a 1.7 centimeter winged fairway driver that is PDGA approved. Look for them to make an announcement someday soon. And our next news story, Infinite Discs has come out with their best golf disc gifts. Gifts. Easy for me to say. While the list is not complete, it does have some great ideas. Share the link with loved ones as your birthday approaches. Some ideas, here are some ideas. Some of theirs, some are mine. For practice and warming up, you have the Flight Towel that works your grip. You have Disc Dots that focuses your putt. You have grip enhancers like whale sacks or osmosis bags. You have chain suppressors that keep your basket quiet for nighttime practice. You have the Champ Cap that makes your target area smaller. And then you have some higher end stuff like range finders, disc storage, disc retrievers, disc displays, and even a practice basket. I'd say stay away from the carts or bags as those are a very personal decision. But all in all, a great start to getting some good disc golf gifts coming your way. All right, this next news story, Maple After Dark. It's never too early to start planning. The MVP Open by OTB is partnering with Disc After Dark to put on Maple After Dark, which is the nighttime events at the MVP, during the first 3 nights of the tournament. This is an extra event for ticket holders. But the reason I'm mentioning is you could run a night golf event as a fun way to keep the discs flying after your local event. Have it be like an add-on. $10 lets you play the night golf round also. I'd highly recommend you reach out to Disc After Dark as their course setup is second to none. They have all the pieces to make it super easy. And no, they did not pay me to say that. And our second to last, our penultimate story of the day, state and provincial call for PDGA coordinators. If you've ever thought you want to be a PDGA coordinator and step up and help, the PDGA is putting out a call for candidates for the upcoming 2024 PDGA elections. You can represent the PDGA in a positive light and a professional manner to members, clubs, agencies in your community. Work with TDs to make sure everybody's on the same page. You serve as a liaison to PDGA event support and a bunch of other great stuff that kind of helps the sport run in the background. So if you do a good job, nobody even knows you're the state coordinator because it all just happens. So if you want to step up, link in the show notes. And our final story of the day, video replay, is it time? Our first aggregate hole playoff since the PDGA moderated its view on them has come and gone. I, for one, loved the extra drama it created. When Missy had to decide on the very first hole whether she would run that putt or lay it up was huge. And she drained it. And then Haley on the next hole had a very similar decision and opted the other direction. Wonderful. This is the gamesmanship that aggregate hole playoffs brings to the game. Thank you, DDO, for a spectacular first example, and thank you to the whole DGN media team for pulling an extra hour of coverage instead of eating your lunches. There should probably be some consideration for that going forward. Special thanks to Sean for emailing us his thoughts on the following topic. We are going to ruminate, collect other thoughts, and put this to the Friday Thoughts for the Day op-ed. Email us your thoughts if you want to be part of the conversation. The question, is it time for video replay? Email your thoughts to discgolfdaily@aol.com. And if you have any other thoughts, news, or opinions, let us know that in an email also. But before we finish this off, we're going to go over some course growth. All right, so we've had a lot going on today, and I appreciate you sticking with me. UDisc Course Growth Day. We had 22 new courses put in the ground on this planet over the last week. We now have 15,449 courses in the ground on planet Earth. That is, and this year we have averaged over 18.4 courses per week. That's over 2.6 courses every day. I'm estimating we'll break 16,000 courses by the end of the year and have close to 1,000 new courses in 2024, an annual growth rate that eclipses 7%. Countries with the most new courses: the United States had 14, Canada, Sweden, and Norway had 2 each, and Poland, the Åland Islands, and Italy each got 1. That does it for us today. Have fun, throw 'em straight, and hit the thin gap.